Hollywood, get it together. Welcome, everyone, to the Zach Like Jack channel. I am Zach Ray, and we are here with another article. This one is obviously not something that is to be taken lightly. Those of you that, are not living under a rock, know exactly what has happened in the situation with Alec Baldwin and being on the set of his new Western movie that's being shot called Rust, and the death of the young woman that was on set, that he was his cinematographer. I mean, it's so sad. Honestly, it is a situation that is so freaking sad. And at this point in time, I just hate that there's so much on the internet that is focusing on Alec Baldwin versus focusing on the life lost in the entire situation. Like, we get it. Alec Baldwin is the one who pulled the trigger, right? But Alec Baldwin, so far with what has come out, is somebody who did not intentionally do this. He was given a cold gun, as it was announced to him on set, and they were doing rehearsals from what I've read. And he was doing a shot, where he's, pointing the gun at the camera, and it's like, they're testing like this close up or whatever. It's like, like a hero shot or some shit like that. And he pulled the trigger, and unfortunately it had a live round in it, and it passed through the cinematographer and also struck the director. The director survived with injuries, or with an injury, and unfortunately the cinematographer lost her life. So I have this article here that is from Deadline, and it says LA City Councilman calls for ban on live guns and ammunition on film and TV sets. Now, this is where I feel the conversation really needs to be focused. It needs to be focused on, one, the life lost, and two, how are you going to prevent this from happening? If there's anything that we should have learned from the Brandon Lee situation on The Crow, is that there's no reason, especially in 2021, there is no fucking reason for there to be, one, live ammunition on set, two, real guns on set, and three, just discharge of anything. I mean, in a world where we have top notch computer generated imaging capabilities, there's no need to have like this whole, like, they're doing it for like the sake of, containing the reality. And, we want the actors to like really feel like they're in the moment, so they could feel the weight of the weapon and the recoil when, when they pull the trigger, and yada, 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 whatever. And it's just like, all of that is nonsense. All of that is literally nonsense. Okay. I can take a fake gun and literally, fucking work with the recoil on my own without the help of a fucking real weapon. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. So, in an effort to create a conversation, or at least continue a version of the conversation on the internet that's not focused on demonizing Alec Baldwin before all of the information comes out, I wanted to really go through this article, because, again, it is something that I completely support. There's no reason why someone's life should be lost on the set of a movie, when literally filming a movie is adults creating make-believe. Okay, everybody that works on a film and they go on set and they're creating this make-believe, they're doing it because it's something that they're passionate about, and nobody goes to work with the intention of losing their fucking life or getting injured. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this article and see what it is that they're planning to do in Los Angeles. So here it goes. Los Angeles City Councilman Paul Koretz introduced a resolution today to support legislation that would eliminate live guns and ammunition from television and movie productions following the death of cinematographer uh, Helena Hutchins after a weapon discharged as star Alec Baldwin handled it on set. While movies can be convincing and very realistic, they are supposed to be make believe, said Koretz, who introduced the resolution. A single gun accident, let alone a fatality, like the one that occurred on the Rust set and the ones that killed Brandon Lee and John Eric Hexum, destroy the lives of not only the victims and their families, but the lives of the other actors and crew who forever are burdened with the emotional trauma of avoidable accidents. 100%. 100%. What he is saying is very fucking factual. The idea that even one misfire has caused danger is outrageous, he continued. The clear solution is banishing live guns and ammunition from the sets of television and motion picture productions to eliminate all possibility of human error in the handling of weapons so that flawless oversight and restrictions guarantee that these kinds of accidents never happen again. Koretz is not only the politician who is considering official action. New Mexico Governor Michelle Luan Grisham said Tuesday that the state is prepared to take action to improve safety on film sets if the industry doesn't. IATSE Local 480, meanwhile, wrote in a letter to its members today that it was inexcusable for the film's producers to hire non-union workers to replace 7 union members of the camera crew who had walked off the job in protest just hours before the fatal shooting. The local represents film and TV workers in the state. On October 21st, Baldwin was rehearsing a scene on the set of The Western Rust at a ranch near Santa Fe, New Mexico, when he discharged a weapon, killing the 42-year-old Hutchins and injuring the film's director, Joel Souza, who is 48 years old. According to an October 22nd affidavit submitted to a state judge for search warrants, Baldwin was told by Rust assistant director Halls that the gun he was pointing toward the camera for a rehearsal scene was a cold gun. At that time, the police investigation also determined that all 3 prop guns were prepped by the on-set armorer Gutierrez and the first AD. Did not know live rounds were in the prop gun. The death of Hutchins has renewed concerns about on-set safety. New Mexico authorities said at a press conference today that it is still too early in the investigation to comment on whether criminal charges will be filed in the death. Sorry, the ad moved it. Let me start over. New Mexico authorities said at a press conference today that it is still too early in their investigation to comment on whether or not criminal charges will be filed in the death. But Santa Fe County Sheriff said 3 guns were recovered from the scene and identified the one fired by Baldwin as a long Colt 45 revolver. He reported the department has recovered 500 rounds of ammunition. Are you fucking serious? A mix of blanks, dummy rounds, and what we are suspecting are live rounds. Okay, so it's a combination, but still, the fact that there are live rounds even there is insane to me, said Mendoza. He said that a lead projectile has been recovered from the shoulder of Mr. Souza. And indicated that he considered the bullet live because obviously it did fire from the gun. You can watch today's press conference below. An affidavit keeps jumping. An affidavit for a new search warrant filed today indicated that a crew member responsible for overall safety on the set, First Assistant Director David Halls, admitted he didn't properly check the gun that Alec Baldwin discharged on October 21st, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins and injuring director Joel Souza. David advised when Hannah showed him the firearm before continuing rehearsal, he could only remember seeing 3 rounds. The filing adds about interaction that afternoon last week between the first AD and armorer, Hannah Gutierrez. He advised he should have checked all of them, but didn't, and couldn't recall if she spun the drum. The affidavit blatantly states Koretz's Council District 5 includes many of the city's most affluent communities where many of the industry live. It runs along the city's spine in the Santa Monica Mountains and includes communities on the west side of Los Angeles from Hollywood to Bel Air, as well as communities in the San Fernando Valley. Council District 5 encompasses the communities of Bel Air, Beverly Crest, Beverlywood, California Country Club, Carthay Circle, Century City, Cheviot Hills, Comstock Hills, Encino, Fairfax, Hollywood, Melrose, Oak Forest Canyon, Palms, Pico Robertson, Roscoe Mare, Westside Village, Westwood Gardens, Westwood South of Santa Monica. Okay, so this is the press conference. So it's like 25 minutes long, so I'm not going to go ahead and watch that because it's like, you know, we understand what it is that this article is saying, right? So they're basically, you know, attempting to move forward with making sure that that this doesn't happen again, because again, it just blows my mind that this is something that still has to be a conversation and happened at all when it should be a non-issue. If there's going to be an accidental death, you know, not that we're searching for that, but if there is going to be an accidental death on a film set, you know, like it shouldn't come from something that was avoidable. You know what I mean? Like I've been on a film set before, and just being there, it's like, and seeing the environment and stuff, like there's a lot of dangerous shit that surround these people on a daily basis. That's why the crews are so large, so that way the jobs are focused, right? Like everybody's task is very focused. Like you are directly working on this one thing, and that is multiplied, you know, throughout the people that are there on the crew. So it's like everybody has this thing they're focusing on, so you're just making sure that everything is done correctly and the actors are safe, the rest of the crew is safe, your peers, you know, and everybody is just working together to make sure that this is a completely safe environment. Now, having said all of that and having read all of this, do I believe Alec Baldwin is at fault? I do not believe that he is at fault for the firing of the gun. However, he is a producer on the movie, and there obviously has to be some level of accountability taken on his part, in the fact that, you know, we're reading and we're hearing about the fact that, you know, all these people walked off, these union members walked off set for already having safety concerns, and instead of working that out, they decided to go the cheaper route and utilize non-union members, and allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, even though this information's out there, you know, allegedly using someone as their armorer who literally isn't trained in being an armorer on a movie set. Literally had never been her job before. Never. So why would you appoint somebody to be the end all be all final word in making sure that this weapon was safe to use if you have no idea how to do a fucking gun safety check? I mean, that portion of it is insane to me. So as far as Alec Baldwin is concerned, like, yes, I 100% believe that there has to be some accountability taken there, and he has to answer to that as the producer. If he was just an actor, fine. But like, I understand, like, I won't put the 100% blame on him in the fact that, you know, he killed somebody. Okay, now do I believe that he should go to jail and, you know, for manslaughter and all that stuff? You know, like all these conservative people are saying online, like, no, I don't believe that. But that doesn't absolve him of accepting some level of responsibility in the fact that this happened, because he's the producer of the film, and he's somebody who was, and will continue to be in the future, be a decision maker. Okay. So when you are one of the many decision makers, then you have to take blame. Even though you're not directly to blame, you have to take a level of blame because you are included in the decision making. And in this case, he's one of the people that took part in the decision making that ultimately led to the death of one of their peers. Something that did not need to happen. Completely avoidable. So I mean, I'm going to definitely be paying close attention to this as it comes out, because obviously I am somebody who, I have many friends that, live and work in Hollywood and are involved in the film industry and stuff like that. So, I'm very, very, very in tune with, being on a set and, writers and stuff like that. Like, I definitely have a lot of people that I hold near and dear to my heart. And I definitely don't want to hear about one of my friends, passing away on a movie set or anything like that. Like, that would just be completely heartbreaking. So I want to pay attention to this story, and I want to make sure that I'm somebody who is adding to the conversation and making sure we are holding Hollywood as a whole accountable, and making sure that this is something that is never going to happen again. This completely avoidable fucking act is never going to happen again. I thank you guys for clicking on this video and listening to me read through this article. I'm not going to give my whole ending spiel because it's not right. So I will just leave you here, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.